Welcome to Nittany Nation Game Day.
First win in 336 days since the Cotton Bowl last year.
The streak is finally over.
We're going to have Victory Monday dinner, which is going to be the most delicious thing I've ever tasted in my life.
Fries, chicken burgers, and crab legs, and pasta.
Penn State has its first win.
Lee trying to get outside. He doesn't, has the first down.
The Young Guns took over, and now a new test in New Jersey.
This is not the totality of who we are.
Penn State hopes to remember its roots because the road is long and the journey is not over. Nittany Nation Game Day starts right now.
Hey, hi, hello. Welcome to Nittany Nation Game Day. I'm Peter Terpstra. As always, I'm short and I'm on a box. Penn State, no longer losers. Well, mama, it's a new day.
And I'm Jack Washer. Yeah, pretty much everything he said. Let's tell you how we got here. Penn State made the trip to Ann Arbor, and a beautiful Saturday afternoon gave way to some beautiful football. Sean Clifford, he protected the ball, moved the chains. Kevon Lee led the way out of the backfield, rushing for more than 100 yards for the first time in his young career. And freshman Parker Washington had a career day too, with 9 catches and 93 yards as Penn State beats Michigan 27-17.
We just played gutsy. That's who we've been. There was just so many examples today of who we've been for, I guess 7 years now, I'd say. We found ways to do it today. And, the earlier games, we didn't do that. But we made a play when we needed to make a play. And then even the strange penalty where we stopped them and they said batting the ball. I mean, there have been things that would have put us in a rut. We would have had a hard time fighting back through that when it doesn't feel fair, but life isn't fair sometimes. You just got to find a way to battle through it. We did that today. So it was just great to see.
Now moving on, Penn State football is still at the bottom of the Big Ten. It's land so foreign and so far from your normal expectations for the Nittany Lions.
Now the season's not over, right? The Nittany Lions have a chance to show the rest of the conference who they really are.
Now Michigan's basically done with no timeouts remaining unless Penn State fumbles the ball.
Winning feels nice, right? Penn State's first win of the season went back to the basics. Rack up the rushing yards and don't turn the ball over. The team has a chance to finish the season on a brighter note.
We have to own this season. We have to own it. But this is not the totality of who we are. The Cotton Bowl champs, we're that too. The Fiesta Bowl champs, we're that too.
That's the past. Now for the future. The youth movement is on for Penn State. For the first time ever, they had a true freshman running back, a true freshman tight end, and a true freshman wide receiver all start in the same game.
First play of the game, Theo Johnson makes a big block, to help spring a run. Parker Washington had a great game with a ton of catches. He's an explosive guy, so he can do a lot. And obviously, we talked about Kevon a lot. He's going to have a big future as well.
The season is not done yet, but at 1-5, it's pretty easy to look ahead at what the Lions might look like post-pandemic, if that's a thing.
I just try to keep the big picture in mind as much as I possibly can. But for me to sit here and say that my staff and my players aren't aware of it and does it have an impact? Yes. Yes, it does.
Reporting in State College, Peter Terpstra for Nittany Nation. Thanks, me. This was the problem for Penn State in the first 5 games of the season. 14 turnovers in those first 5 games. The Iowa game was especially bad. They had 4 giveaways. They gave up 24 points, just gifting them to the Hawkeyes. Now, Saturday marked the first game all season where Penn State did not turn the ball over. Both Sean Clifford and Will Levis played on Saturday, and we expect Clifford to be QB1, but you're probably going to see a little bit of Will Levis going forward. Now, Jack, my question for you is Saturday's team Penn State? Is it the team that you saw in the first 5 games? Is that Penn State, or do you ignore the past that was consistently making it to big-time bowl games, Big Ten champion in 2016?
I thought the most important thing probably of this whole season was Sean Clifford getting benched, because you think about how he got the job. Tommy Stevens left because he didn't want to compete.
I think Sean Clifford won that job.
He probably did, but you know what? There was still going to be a competition, so he was essentially handed the job, and he played well, I think, in last year and whatnot. But I don't think he's really had that hunger in a while. And I think telling him, hey, we got somebody else who can do this. And they threw in Will Levis, and he had to be Sean Clifford had to be the backup for a full, granted it was only 2.5 quarters, but he had to be the backup and know that he may not get his job back again. And I think you saw last week, it's like, all right, this is who I am. Don't turn the ball over. I got weapons. Use them. And look, we won the game. It's a pretty easy formula. Like, you might not beat Ohio State like that, but you shouldn't be 0-5. And I think the carelessness with Clifford and Levis, throwing the football, coughing the ball up, I think that's been a huge detriment to this team.
And, well, I want to give some love to Will Levis, too. He's an incredible weapon. When you're able to run the quarterback, and that dude is so big, and he can truck dudes, he can do all that stuff. They wanted to do it very first game of the season, so this is not something that they just came up with.
Right, no.
And that very first game against Indiana, he got in there and he fumbled the ball, so it's good to see that, hey, the plan worked.
Well,
right?
they got him the ball, and don't have him hand the ball off. He's a freight train. He's a freight train. Get him running downhill. Who wants to tackle Will Levis going
NFL
downhill?
tight end, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. All right, still ahead on Nittany Nation Game Day. We're talking thick burgers and thicker running backs. One Penn State back shook up the Big Ten. That's next.
At Joel Confer Toyota, we're more than just a full-service dealership. For over 40 years, we've provided the utmost customer service while serving our local communities. Stop in today and let Mario Leps show you the Toyota Sienna. Visit our showroom at Joel Confer Toyota of State College.
It is the question that matters the most.
¿Dónde está?
That takes you behind the story.
Robert.
It drives everything we do. It is the foundation of trust.
Who did all of that?
And the truth that propels us forward.
What did you make of that?
It is the question. 1 word, 3 letters long. And without it, our purpose,
That's news.
and our freedom fade. This is why.
Welcome to Lock Haven University Clearfield campus. Check out the school next door with a campus tour. With faculty who are experts in their field, our friendly and helpful campus is close to home and here for you. Reasonable tuition affords you the opportunity to learn critical thinking and problem-solving skills, which will help you prepare for employment. Come check out our programs in business, criminal justice, nursing, and healthcare that will lead you to your future career. Can you see yourself here? LHU Clearfield, where opportunity and affordability meet.
Bring home a little piece of Italy this holiday season. At Alto Markets, we offer a wide array of fresh and homemade Italian imports and products. From our freshly cut deli meats to our imported fresh breads, now featuring homemade and authentic pasta. This holiday season, Alto Markets will have a wide catering menu, gift basket ideas, cookie platters, and so much more. Visit our Slice of Italy this season at Alto Markets.
At Joel Confer Toyota, we're more than just a full-service dealership. For over 40 years, we've provided the utmost customer service while serving our local communities. Stop in today and let Jerry Bransfield help you find your next Toyota vehicle. Visit our showroom at Joel Confer Toyota of State College.
You're watching WTAJ's Nittany Nation Game Day. Only on WTAJ, your Nittany Nation station. Today's show is brought to you by Patterson Automotive. You're watching Nittany Nation Game Day.
I enjoyed those milkshakes. I had to take 2 to go. I still have one in the fridge. From the rib we had to the fries, chicken burgers, and the crab legs and the pasta. It was a great meal.
Diet starts Monday, I guess. Maybe not if you're a football player. Welcome back. Hungry for some ribs, fries, chicken burgers, crab legs, milkshakes. Oh, how's your diabetes?
My diabetes is hurting. just listening to all that. Apparently, after the wins, Penn State gets to grub up on Mondays. They call it Victory Monday Dinner. With that said, you could say Penn State is starving for another win. Here's the bad news. Another team is shutting things down right after playing Penn State. Michigan had to cancel its next game against Maryland earlier in the week because of our old friend COVID-19. So, if Michigan cannot play Ohio State next week, the Buckeyes will not be able to play in the Big Ten championship game pending any kind of serious schedule shuffling to make all that work because they would have too many games canceled. Now, Penn State will do what it's been doing. Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming.
I say this each week, and each week I knock on wood because we don't want to drop our guard and we don't want to do anything because this virus, it can jump on you fast. So, we'll continue to try to educate. We'll continue to talk about the importance of this and the sacrifices that our staff is making, the sacrifices that our team is making.
So we don't have the numbers for COVID cases for Penn State directly after the Michigan game, but the week before they only had 2 positives within the entire athletic department. So Penn State has kind of had a handle on that whole thing going forward.
All right, moving on. Penn State has had a history of running backs, good running backs, with bruising thighs and ballerina feet like Saquon. We're talking about Saquon. Well, now Penn State had to lean on another big back last Saturday. Freshman Kevon Lee. He had his top college performance Saturday, good enough to earn him Big Ten Freshman of the Week.
Kevon's just been locked in, ever since he got here. He's been trying to pick up as much, technique and detail as he can from Coach Sider. He's been getting leadership from the other running backs in the room. He's been doing everything he can to become the best football player he can.
And the first thing you notice is how big his legs are. I mean, they're massive, and he runs hard in between tackles, a little bit like Noah Kane. Like he's able to bounce off and yards after contact and whatnot.
So major key. Let's take a look at the young back's numbers. Before the Michigan game, he only had 19 carries for 93 yards. Against Michigan, he had 22 carries, 134 yards, 1 touchdown. Keziah Holmes did get a couple carries. Sean Clifford also was a dangerous runner along with Will Levis. Now Penn State will have to sort of, kind of sort out the hot hand against Rutgers, but they might have found something with the running game.
Now, you might have wondered, where was Devin Ford through all this? Well, he missed the Michigan game with a family emergency. He did not travel with the team. Now, Coach Franklin says that he should be back in the mix this week. So that's another guy you're going to have to sort out who's going to get the most carries. Now, also, some more news. Reserve linebacker Charlie Catcher is out for the year with an injury, so the linebacker room loses some depth there as well. I want to go back to this run game. We saw the winning formula, and this kind of seems to be the theme, I think, for Penn State throughout the years. And football coaches will tell you, well, this is how you win football games, period. You run the ball. That'll help out your defense, control the clock, all that stuff. I don't think Penn State is going to be a shootout-style offense ever. If they don't run the ball effectively, they don't win.
No, their offense is based on the RPO, and if you can show that you can run the ball, you bring the linebackers up, and it makes Clifford's job a lot easier. He can hit Parker Washington going over the middle and whatnot, but if the defense isn't respecting the run at all, then the RPO is just like, well, we know you're going to pass it. There's no threat to play complementary football. To have that multi-dimension within the offense, I think, is huge, and I think you finally saw it on Saturday.
Yeah, and it was really nice to see kind of these freshmen got to be 18, 19 years old, playing Big Ten football. Kevon Lee had a great performance, and it was really kind of a bell cow type thing. They just kept feeding him. He had 7 carries on the first drive. I think that set the tone for the game plan the entire way, right? First drive, 7 carries to the freshman, and he just drove him down, capped it off with a touchdown. So if Penn State is able to run that ball, and it really doesn't matter who's carrying it, against Rutgers is going to have problems.
Yep. All right, coming up next, remember this guy? He made his mark on the NFL this week. That's next.
Your news every hour in primetime is on News Nation on WGN America. News Nation reported on protecting consumers from some hospital bill collectors.
We have seen bankruptcy.
And how one black police officers chapter broke down barriers to confront racism.
Other states look up to us to see what we're doing.
News Nation covers your nation every night starting at 8, 7 Central on WGN America. Go to newsnationnow.com to find WGN America on your cable or satellite provider.
Hey man, I'm down here at Beer Belly's Beverage. What are you thinking about tonight? How about some Dos Equis? Or hey, how about some Miller Lite? That's always good for game day. No? How about some Guinness then? Come on, man, I can't name all the beers they've got here. They've got over 500.
With over 500 options, we know it's hard to choose. But whatever you're in the mood for, Beer Belly's has the beer for it. Located in Hamilton Square Shopping Center, State College, PA.
Time is running out to switch your Medicare plan to Highmark for next year. Our licensed Medicare advisors have extended hours from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. 7 days a week. Give them a call at 833-356-8348 as soon as possible so they can enroll you on the spot. This is your last chance to switch to an affordable Highmark plan with premiums as low as $0 a month. And get the other amazing benefits you need, like $0 primary care doctor's visits, $0 generic prescriptions and dental allowances. Plus, you can get access to all major hospital networks in the area and other community hospitals. Get enrolled with a Medicare plan from Highmark now by calling 833-356-8348 before time runs out. That's 833-356-8348 before the December 7th deadline. Then get ready to take on 2021.
I'm ready now.
You're watching WTAJ's Nittany Nation Game Day. This segment is proudly presented by Dunkin'. You're watching Nittany Nation Game Day.
All right, welcome back. Let's shift our attention to the NFL with a little twist. So the Steelers and Ravens were supposed to play on Thanksgiving night. Then it got pushed to Sunday, then to Tuesday, and then to Wednesday as the Ravens dealt with a COVID outbreak.
Now, Baltimore had its top two running backs out, and former MVP Lamar Jackson was out due to COVID, which set the stage for a former Penn Stater.
That's right. Trace McSorley came on in relief of Robert Griffin III. McSorley completed just 2 of 6 passes, but one of those passes, Peter, a 70-yard strike to Hollywood Brown. And it was such a big deal that James Franklin delayed his Wednesday post-practice press conference. Safe to say, Peter, you were on the call, I believe, or someone was on the call. He was pretty excited.
He was. Looky here. Other Penn State sports are rolling now. This is a look at what things are like during the pandemic. You have no fans in these indoor arenas, right, except for some family members. Masks, distance, some cardboard cutouts. Both Penn State basketball teams are back, and so is hockey. And that brings us to Penn State men's basketball. What a weird year.
Yeah.
You got a new coach stepping in about a month before the season, and here we are.
And here we are. So Penn State had to host VCU this week. That's Virginia Commonwealth University for those folks keeping track.
Not coached by Shaka Smart.
No.
Yeah.
Miss Shaka.
That was a while ago.
And we had a finish to remember. Now, the Nittany Lions had a 68-60 lead evaporate in the final 3 minutes. So game tied at 69, less than 10 seconds ago. Miles Dredd, who hadn't scored a point all game and played just 9 minutes, comes up with a shot of his life, a buzzer beater, ball game. Penn State wins at 72-69. Coach Ferry, why'd you go to Miles?
He's a guy that we just trust a lot. You know, this is his 3rd game winner in his Penn State career. He's a very good inbounder, and he knows how to play basketball. So at that point, it was just a decision to get him into the game. And then obviously the ball got swung to him, and he made it. You know, I think everybody trusts Miles.
All right, coming up next, we'll get you ready for game time. It's December, and Penn State, believe it or not, is still out there playing football. Next.
Tis the season to be cheersin'. Get cheersin' with all with new holiday drinks at Dunkin'. Send a virtual cheersin' with the Dunkin' app.
Your favorite casino games are just a few taps away. Find FanDuel Casino right inside your FanDuel Sportsbook app. Join FanDuel Casino today to play your first 24 hours risk-free and get up to $200 back on anything you lose.
Laurel Medical Solutions is passionate about people. Laurel Medical Solutions' friendly, certified, and experienced staff will assess your individual needs, Design and craft orthotics and prosthetics that are both comfortable and maximize your ability to function. We offer a full range of services, and our mobile prosthetic unit allows us to adjust your prosthetic on site. And with our full line of diabetic shoes and inserts, we will find the right fit for your needs.
The holiday sales event is now happening at Dean Patterson Hyundai.
We are offering 0% for 72 months here with $1,000 customer cash or no payments for up to 5 months on 2020 Tucson, Santa Fe, and Sonata models. Buy a Hyundai at Dean Patterson and receive a free maintenance for 3 years or 36,000 miles.
That's right, no charge for maintenance here at Dean Patterson Hyundai.
From service to sales, you're our Patterson priority.
We're cheersing the merrymakers, the givers and not takers, and the home decorators. To those that got us through spring, summer, and fall, we're cheersing for all at Dunkin'. Share some cheersing with friends via the Dunkin' app. America runs on Dunkin'.
You're watching WTAJ's Nittany Nation Game Day. Only on WTAJ, your Nittany Nation station. Today's show is brought to you by Patterson Automotive. You're watching Nittany Nation Game Day.
Hey, hi, hello. It's December in Happy Valley. The students are pretty much gone. The place is noticeably empty, and now bring on the snow.
We are getting closer to game time, and Peter, it's December football, which normally means we'd be doing a bowl game, but it's not normal right now for the Big Ten or college football in general. But just like everything else, the coronavirus pandemic pushed the season back.
Here we are. First win down, bundle up. Penn State is still playing.
It's December 1st, and we had a short glimpse of snow. So, it's a blessing. We've been in a year where we've had good weather. We haven't had to really, battle the weather.
Things are getting a little cheery in State College. Normally this time of the year, the Lions are taking a break before the bowl or practicing indoors, getting ready to head somewhere warmer.
The lineman weather is great. The cold, less sweating, opposed to those hot August months. Is definitely way better. Maybe even some snow would be cool to see in December.
Lee trying to get outside. He does it as the first down.
Penn State will have to play December football in New Jersey when it heads to Rutgers for its next game. And maybe, just maybe, the Lions will repeat their last performance. Run the rock, run it some more, and then go from there.
You got to be able to throw the ball, at a time and everybody in the stadium knows you're going to throw it during 2 minutes. And you got to be able to run the ball in 4 minutes when everybody knows you're going to run the ball.
All right, so Rutgers, now this is not your normal Rutgers team, Peter. One, they're winning games. They brought Greg Schiano back for a second stint in Piscataway, and he's turned the program around. Now, you won't confuse him with Ohio State, but this won't be a cakewalk by any means. And
remember, Greg Schiano, he coached at Rutgers, as you said, for 10 years. He got him into the top 10. He spent 3 seasons as the defensive coordinator at Ohio State under Urban Meyer, and he was a Penn State assistant for 4 seasons in the early 90s. This is not your normal Rutgers team. They seem to be building something a little better there in New Jersey.
So if it's a close game, don't freak out, Penn State.
Don't freak out.
All right? So Big Ten news to clean up for you. Indiana quarterback Michael Penix done for the season after tearing his ACL last week against Maryland. Penn State folks remember Penix barely getting the ball to the pylon in the season opener. He didn't have a great game against Penn State, but believe it or not, he showed out against Ohio State. He threw for 491 yards and 5 touchdowns in the horseshoe.
Man, you hate to see that. That kid is really part of the resurgence of the Indiana football team along with Tom Allen. I don't know who they have at backup quarterback, and it's going to be interesting to see how they play going forward. Let's get to your favorite time of the day, time to talk cash money.
Yes, it is always time to talk cash money, but we do it. It's called Get Jacked. It's time to get jacked. I picked 3 games against the spread. We're starting off with, you guessed it, Ohio State. They're taking on Michigan State, laying 24, and I'm like the Buckeyes because Michigan State is very schizophrenic.
Yeah.
Clemson, 21.5 against Virginia Tech. The Tigers, they need style points. I think they do it in prime time. In Indiana, remember that team we were just talking about? They're getting 14.5 against Wisconsin. I think that's way too many points. I think Indiana keeps it within 2 touchdowns.
Jack, your overall record. We're in week 8? 7.
12. Whatever. I went 2-0 last week. I have one game canceled because of the Coco. So we are now 10-6 on the year. So
is that on par for you?
What do you mean?
Like we've been doing this for a few years now.
Yeah.
Right. So are you constantly like beating the spread?
Yeah.
Okay. Whatever. I'm just giving too much credit.
I mean, college football, I would agree. If you know me, it's probably my best sport.
Yeah.
College basketball, just
this is his thing.
I'll flush it down the toilet.
If you've noticed.
All right, let's get to some game time. You want to know where to watch the game. It's on Fox Sports 1. It's coming up in a couple minutes, couple hours, whenever you're watching.
Depends when you're watching.
Exactly, yeah. Fox Sports 1, Penn State, Rutgers. Enjoy it.
There you go. Big Ten East standings, folks. Ohio State, weird year, only played 4 games, and hopefully they can play Michigan next week. If not, the Big Ten is going to have to really shape some stuff. There's no way the Big Ten is going to leave Ohio State out of the championship game. They can't do that. I mean, that's just a bad look for the entire conference.
Only if they have a guarantee that they'll make the playoff.
I mean, right now I would say that's where they're at. They're number 4 in the college football playoff rankings, but I guess stuff can go wrong, whatever. But yeah, Ohio State's going to play this weekend, hopefully.
Big Ten West, Northwestern clinched a spot in the Big Ten championship because they had a game canceled this week. That's how you
do it.
That's how you book your trip to Indy and whatnot. But there's the rest of the Big Ten West standings. Peter's former stop, Nebraska.
At the bottom. They got spanked by Illinois, man.
That was crazy. They are stuck in the corn maze right now and don't know how to get out of it.
Yeah, well, Mackenzie Milton, UCF quarterback. Former coach Scott Frost, just saying. Anyways, he's transferring. All right, we're going to give you a little predictions now. Of course, Penn State, Rutgers. I think Penn State's going to win this one. It feels good. You know, they came off a win. They finally showed up. I mean, everything has been building on Penn State this season, and they finally put together the type of football they want to play and got the win against Michigan. I'm going to say Penn State wins 24-21. It'll be a close game because Rutgers will surprise people. I'm going to say that again. Noah Vedral, kid from Nebraska, right? Former Scott Frost kid at UCF. I can't think he transferred to Nebraska and then transferred to Rutgers. That kid's pretty good. Where's number 0? By the way, quarterback wearing number 0, you know he's pretty cool.
And he's got the frequent flyer miles just going all over.
Just all over the place, man.
Well, I think it's going to be a close game too, but on Nitwits I picked Penn State 37-20, so I can't really deviate from that because, come on, we have integrity on the show and whatnot.
I mean, somewhat.
So, and I got to get on the board on the little scoreboard thing we have too. So I'm hoping for a blow up, but I'm fully expecting it to be, like you said, a 1-possession game because, remember, when Rutgers is playing Penn State tight, do not freak out. It's not the same Rutgers,
That's just
okay?
and it's not as well. It's not really the same Penn State.
Take us out, Peter.
All right, that's it, folks. That's our show. We'll catch you next week for Michigan State. Bye.